starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, people? Nice to see you all here. Hello, Dallas and Roger. Welcome in. Hello, Suzanne. Mr. Fulton, what is going on? Welcome on into a little Tiki time. We are out here at the Tiki Hut. We are finishing up celebrating our birthday weekend. We turned 47 revolutions around that sun. So what a better way to end the weekend than to come out here and hang out with you guys for just a little bit, have a couple of nice cold beers, see what is going on, talk a little bit about what is going to be happening on the channel coming up here in the next month or so, and other places you may also find me here on YouTube. So, welcome on in. Make sure you hit that like button. But more importantly, make sure you subscribe, because you do not want to miss out on this. That ticker at the bottom. Yes, yes, my friends. It is real. It is true. We are live down from Disney World starting August 18th through the 23rd. We are in Disney World. You are going to catch us live every day. Usually we try to do 2 streams a day that are 1 to 2 hours long. We try to give you a variety of different areas, different parks. This time we're going to try doing things a little different. But July 20th was your big 25th. Well, happy 25th. Oh, very nice, Suzanne. That's awesome. That's very, very cool. It is. July is the month of birthdays I find in my circle. Alyssa, what's happening? Hello, Dallas. What's up? Happy birthday. Thank you very much. Pierce, welcome on in. So we have a few things, and we are super duper pumped about. And actually, one of these things, believe it or not, was Stephanie's idea. We are gonna try something new. But for me to really kind of get into this, I think I need a beer. So since this is, you're the Halloween babies, we are. So since this is, my parents got married at the end of September. What does that tell you? Since this is Tiki time, right? I have a new to me Sam Adams beer I want to try. So this one is new for Sam Adams here out of Boston. This one is called Pool Party. So I'm kind of excited to try it. It is a citrus hazy pale ale. It is 5.5% by volume. And let's see, the back of the can says that hazy golden ale features a splash of tropical fruit notes, medium hoppiness, and a smooth, refreshing finish that says, "Come on in, the beer is fine." And boy, is it ever. So, and this is park hopping, right? That is my cardio. So let's open this up. Welcome to Tiki time here at the Tiki Bar. We have had birthday celebrations since, well, I started Thursday night because I had Friday off plus the weekend. So we started a little early. Max, what's happening? Hello, Max. Nice job on your vlogs. I see you down there in Disney World enjoying the Grand Floridian. Looks awesome. So here's a little pool party. Cheers. Thank you all for being here. We're going to talk a little bit about something neat we're going to try to do on stream, I guess, and bring it to you. So not bad, really smooth. You can definitely taste the citrus. There's hops in it, but the hops aren't really bitey. They're not super strong. That's a good beer. This is probably dangerous because this is almost on par with the Sam Summer, except it's a tiny bit stronger. It's about 1% stronger than Sam Summer. So, bonus, definitely. I'd give this beer like a strong, like 8.7 out of 10. Really good beer. Wow, that is really good. Oh, that's really good. Hey, Surf Bum, what's happening? Thanks for being here. So, a couple things. Let's talk a little bit of beer first. So, for my birthday was Friday. It was on the 27th. So, Stephanie and I went out. It was just two of us. We had dinner locally at a little place called the River House down here in Taunton, right along the Taunton River. It was okay. The food was good. It was a little warm inside that restaurant. For some reason, we've been there before. And it's a little bit on the pricey side, but the food was really good. It was just the rest of it was not good. The service was very good. So our waitress was great. But we found it to be warm. There was a lot of smoke coming out of the grill, out of the kitchen. And it was just the atmosphere just didn't jive. But the meal itself was great. I was very happy with the steak tips. So we leave there. Last night, me and the co-host and the co-producer, Stephanie, we all decided to get together. We're going to go out. They tell me to pick a place. So we were going to go to Shoveltown out in Easton, which we've been to before. Wanted to go back there, see what was new and exciting. Maybe try some of their new beverages. So we were just about there. We looked on their website. They were open until about 9 or 10 o'clock last night. And my brother, Jeeper Jay, you see him here in the chat sometimes, he gets there first. He says, hey, I think they're closed. It looks like they have an event going on. Well, come to find out, they do have an event going on. It is some sort of summer bash. They're using it as a fundraiser. All they're serving that night off of their menus like hot dogs and hamburgers because it's supposed to be like a summer cookout with a limited menu for beer. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm into. So that's out in Easton, Massachusetts, Easton. It's a really nice place, though. I would recommend at least stopping in there and giving them a look. So I said, well, I look a few more breweries in the area up. The one I wanted to go to after that had closed at 5. This was about 6:15. So I said, well, where else are we going to go? So I had tried Friday night when Stephanie and I were out to dinner. I had tried a beer from the Brockton Brewing Company. And it was good, right? It was a solid beer. It was their lager. I said, well, let's see if they have a menu because we want some food. Let's see what time they're open till. And, we'll go over there. So I look it up, and they're open. They were open till, I think, 10 o'clock last night. So I said, well, let's go over there. It's only 10 minutes away from where we are, which is good. They're open. I'd heard good things about it from some people I'd worked with for a while. So we said, great. So we go over there. If you don't know Massachusetts well, Brockton is known as the City of Champions. They've had a lot of city championships in the state because they're a fairly populated city. So they have a really big school system. They've had a couple of really good boxing heavyweight champions come out of the city of Brockton. Rocky Marciano, Marvelous Marvin Hagler come out of Brockton. The steak was not as good as Le Cellier. Everybody went out. So, oh, thanks, Pierce. So now you're the afterbirth. That's funny, Suzanne. So we go over there, and the city of Brockton can be a little rough. especially in the downtown area, which is where this is. But I'm like, you know what? As a very young child, I lived there, um, and it didn't really seem to be much different. To be honest with you, I did not feel like we were in any danger at all. Everybody was really nice. It was a normal day. So we park, we go in there. Um, Everybody kind of looks at the menu. We decide what we want, and what you do is when you go in there, they now have an outdoor beer garden that they opened like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess. And they have a very open concept, right? So inside's really nice. It's brand new. They were celebrating their second anniversary. They have an open kitchen concept, so you can see everybody cooking. You order your food at the register and pay for it, and they give you like a little stand-up sign. So when the food comes out, the chef says like, "Hey, order's up," and anybody there can turn around, grab the food, and they know exactly where they're going. So we look at the menu. Lindsay, Megan go in order. I go up with Stephanie's order. My brother orders. I am right behind him. So my assumption, and I'm going to, I guess, make a lot of assumptions right now, but my assumption is that the woman that was kind of waiting on us at the register taking the orders was new. You could kind of tell she was a little new, but she was doing kind of okay. Very friendly. Everybody in there was super nice and accommodating. And the place was very clean, which I liked. So she takes the order, and I'm asking questions, and they were out of like ginger ale and stuff. They must have had a real busy, I guess, Thursday, Friday night. I think they labeled them as non-alcoholic seltzers. So essentially it was soda, which I guess the sodas were okay. Their water, the one of the guys working there said, "We got the best water in the city because of the brewing process. When you get a glass of water that comes from the city, it is triple filtered before it goes into anything because of the brewing process. They just put all their water through a triple filter." And that's where the wheels fell off. So Mrs. Squatch asked for like ginger ale. They're out of it. So she says, "Well, what about the tangerine? What about the tangerine like seltzer?" So they're like, "Oh, we got no more. Oh, but wait, we've got this one bottle left that's on the counter as display." So we're like, "Yep, we'll take it." We get a glass of water and a glass of ice with it. So that seemed to really trip up this woman that was trying to wait on us. So you could see her getting a little frazzled. I order a beer on top of this. She forgets to give us our card for the table. So now we go through and order it. I go put my beer down, which I'll talk about that in a minute. I go back. I get this soda. She's like, she forgot to put it on the first bill. So now she charges me. I say, "Hey, what about our table card now?" She's going to go try to find the soda. It was just a hot mess. So the guy that was pretty much, I would take to be either the brewer or the manager, was there. And he said, "Wait, what was your order?" So I told him what the order was. It was they called it a black and blue burger. We had a bowl of poutine, right? I'll get into the food in a minute. So, yep, he goes and tells the chefs, he goes, "Don't worry, they know where you're sitting now." Because the place was it was small. It's not really, really big. I said, when it's ready, they'll bring it over to you. Okay, great. So I go and sit. So now, in the time from when, say, Lindsay and Megan ordered to the time I ordered, couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. So now we're waiting, and now we're waiting, and now we're waiting. Sean is beach modding. Yes, beach modding is approved. So now we're waiting. So now Lindsay and Megan's food come out, and they get burnt pork ends, which were really good. They get the buffalo chicken, the buffalo boneless chicken wings, right? Okay. Boneless buffalo chicken, yes. And my brother orders a hot dog with some fries. That comes out. Lindsay and Megan were waiting on. They were waiting on something. They were waiting on. What were they waiting on? They were waiting on a burger too. They were waiting on a black and blue burger. So they get all their food. You're talking, this is like 20, 25 minutes after they've gotten their food and my brother's gotten his hot dog. We're still waiting for our food. It's not there. So Lindsay says, you got to try this buffalo chicken. I'm like, oh, why? Is it really good? She goes, no, it's like a chicken finger you would get from a Chinese food joint. And I'm like, what? So she says, yeah, try it out. I'm like, stop it. So with that, I take my fork and I pick up one of these buffalo chickens, and everything comes out. It's neat. It comes out in a little bucket. It's like a pail. It's kind of cool. So I sniff it. I'm like, oh, the buffalo doesn't smell super strong, which is good. Because, you have various degrees of hotness. Like hotness. So, so I try it, and sure enough, the batter on the outside, honest to God, it tastes just like an order of chicken fingers right out of your local Chinese food joint. It was literally that, just dipped in buffalo sauce. So I was like, wow, not what I expected. Okay, it is what it is, I guess. A little disappointing. So we get there's an order of French fries, right? So now, finally, after, I can't even make this up, it had to be 35 to 40 minutes. Stephanie and our food finally starts to roll out. So I get, good evening, Lori. I get some pretzels. So you could order, it came out, they were like 3 little pretzels. And they had some maple mustard, which was really good, Canadian maple mustard. That was great. They had their own, it was supposed to be house beer cheese, but it was like this weird relishy tasting Frankenstein sort of Big Mac sauce dip, which I was not a fan of. But the mustard was really good. So we're eating the pretzel. I ordered Cajun fries. So I'm like, oh, all right, Cajun, right? Like New Orleans Cajun. They come out, they're kind of Cajun-y, but they're more like seasoned, almost like a Five Guys. I said, oh, okay. So Lindsay tries some of the fries, and she says, oh, my God, you're not going to believe this. We're like, what? She's like, it tastes like donuts. I'm like, what? Well, this place, as a dessert, you can order a donut, and they have various flavors that you can order, like tiramisu donut. You can order a bacon donut. She says, yep, it tastes just, their fries are sweet like a donut sweet. I'm like, serious? She goes, yeah, they must fry them in the same fryer they're using for their donuts. So I'm like, oh, this is great, because I ordered a big bowl of poutine. I'm like, ugh. So I tried the Cajun fries. Sure enough, they're seasoned, but the fry itself is a little bit on the sweet side. And they weren't really like Cajun-y. Like I said, they were just like a heavy seasoning, right? So now finally Stephanie's burger comes out, which she actually said the burger was good. It was probably the best part of the whole night. The burger got like the best grade, we'll call it, out of all the food. And then the poutine. So I like poutine, right? I do. I like typically the gravy, the curds, like the whole bowl just screams me. And I try to get it places I've never been that serve it to compare it to other poutine I've had. I have my gold standard, which is not the poutine at Disney, believe it or not. And, I've had some that have come close. So this comes out and I'm like, oh, visually it looks good. And it is large. But I think the poutine was like $11, and it was this honkin' bowl of poutine. Honkin'. A lot of gravy on it, nice big chunks of curd in there. So I'm like, all right, but now I know the fries taste kind of donut-y, so how's this going to go? Go in. I eat one of the fries. I'm like, oh, something doesn't taste right here. Lindsay says, yeah, it's probably the donut flavor. So she takes one, she tries some of it. She's like, yeah, the fries taste like donuts. I'm like, nope, nope, it's something with the gravy. Something with the gravy is throwing me off. And the gravy was not very flavorful. It wasn't exactly bland, but it didn't have a lot of pop in the flavor. And I'm like, something about the gravy's just, there's something off. Something doesn't feel right. Like it's literally the feeling of the texture is making this not okay. So about 5 minutes later, we're talking about the food and our experience there. And I can't get over this gravy. It's just throwing this whole thing off for me. And finally, Lindsay's like, well, they're probably not taking it out of a bag. Because I had asked her, I said, you think, what are they using? Are they using like, like commercial brand, like Campbell's gravy or something? And she says, no, they're probably making it their own. She's like, because that would make the most sense. Because if you make gravy for what you think is going to be your day, and then you don't use it, then your gravy it congeals and stuff. There's only so much you can do with it. So they're probably making it. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. And she says, I'm sure that they're making like their own roux. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, oh my God, that's it. And she said, what's it? I said, that's it. It's the roux. The gravy is not thin enough. And she was like, yep. I'm like, that is exactly what is throwing me off. So they must hand make their gravy. And when they made their gravy, the roux is basically just flour and butter, right? And you mix it up until it's almost, it's really like a thick liquid. And then usually you thin it out with something else and you add a little and then it gets thin and thin, right? And you use it to make gravy and maybe, the base for, a host of other things. I'm like, that is absolutely it. And it was that their gravy was not thinned out enough. And it was almost like drinking a soupy flour mix. And it was just not good. So needlessly to say, the experience there for food and service was not good because the food wasn't really great. It was okay at best. And the service was just super slow. When it came to beers, their house lager was good. The girl, like I said, the girl at the register who took our order, she tried to pour me the lager. And when I tell you it came at almost half a glass of foam, I looked at her and I was like, wow, there is a lot of head in that beer. And she went, oh yeah, there kind of is. And she must have been new because their spouts were, see these here? See these? This is a normal tap. So this snout is short. It's like one you would probably see at a bar, right? While theirs were longer and they had a little curve to it. What those are supposed to do is you're supposed to be able to pour a beer with those without tilting the glass as much. What she was doing was she was taking it and she was sticking the snout way down into the glass and not tilting the glass at all and just letting it pour straight down into the middle, which was creating a bunch of foam. So she did go back and she tried a little harder, and I saw her tilt the glass a little bit when she went back, and she got a lot of the foam out, and it wasn't as bad, but it was still not a great pour. The beer itself was good. It was light, it was refreshing. It is like it's their thing, I guess, right? So I said, okay. I went back. I got a second beer while we were in between the almost 40 minutes we were waiting to get our food. They had a red ale, which was really good. It was super sweet, had a great nose on it, very drinkable, wasn't too hoppy. It wasn't outrageously strong. I think it was only like 5 or 5.5%. Good beer. And the guy who was running the counters out there poured it and definitely had a way steadier hand because it was a really good pour. So that was our experience. I would say this, the facility itself is very nice. We checked out. We didn't go in, but we just peeked our head into the outdoor beer garden that they just opened. It looked nice. They had nice turf out there, and they had a canopied area. They had a DJ playing. There were a bunch of people sitting out there. I would say the one thing that I absolutely noticed right off the bat was this service window. It's a limited food menu, it's a limited beer menu, and this service window is literally like a shed from Home Depot with just a couple of windows that open up. So that I was like, ooh, you've got this nice area that's really built up nice with the turf, and you had these little almost like big planters with some trees in them that you could sit on the edge. It was designed for that. And these nice chase lounges, and you got this nice canopy that's covered, and the area looked to be good. And then when you look to the side, the service booth building, we'll call it, was literally probably like, a 20 or 25 by 10 shed. And it didn't really fit out there. I don't know, maybe they need to do something a little different. They should really make a structure, like a tiki bar, right? Or something like that would be better. But we've decided not our go-to. It is definitely on the bottom of the list of places to stop at. It was just not a good experience. Maybe if I can get fooled or tricked into going back there and the experience is a little bit better, maybe. But I would, if we're rating it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to put it at like a 2. Not recommended. I would not go. Yet, Christina G, hello. And yes, you would think you would get it for free, but nope, that didn't happen. Initially, I said, the prices in there were reasonable. The beers were very reasonable, $5 to $7 for depending upon what you got, which is a fantastic price for beer and not a bad price for the beer you were getting. But the food, the food was not outrageously priced, but when you take in the quality of what you got, what you were getting, and then the service on top of it to get your food, it was definitely not a very good value. So, unfortunately, sorry, Brockton Beer Company, but you are not on the recommended list of places to stop. We probably should have went back to Berkeley Beer Company where we know what we're getting. Good beer, good food, the service is good. Cheers. Welcome to pool party. So that was kind of the yesterday wrapped up in a nutshell. But now today's Sunday. We're finishing the weekend, and a little bit of our Disney news we'll get into now. So we are traveling, as you can see at the bottom of the screen here. We are traveling to Disney World again. So it's our August trip that we're going to take. Super excited. We've got all of our stuff booked. I am, we're talking about the whole new multi-lane, lightning lane system that they're using, multi-day or single individual. I'm starting to track wait times. So, and I've seen a couple of data charts from like, Theme Park Data or Thrill Data, that website and stuff, and it seems like a lot of the fast passes are gone by like 10:30 in the morning, and then the rest of the day they're not available, which tells me that wait times are going to be super large by the end of the day. I haven't found it to be any one day yet where it's been terrible waits. I've been checking randomly. So Stephanie and I have been debating whether we are going to actually pay for those multi-day passes. We'll probably get one for Hollywood Studios and try to get on like Slinky Dog, a couple of the Star Wars rides. We'll probably get one for the Magic Kingdom. But a couple of exciting things for us is we are going to get to have a late night in Epcot and a late night in the Magic Kingdom because we are staying at Disney's Riviera Resort, our home DVC resort. So we are super excited. We have a dinner reservation at Topolino's, which is really cool because we've never eaten there. We've tried, and for a long time, it was a very, very tough reservation to get, but we do have a dinner reservation there, so we're excited for that. And then Stephanie said, she said something to me, and I thought it was a really good idea and something we want to try. So, we tried a challenge a long time ago, and it was before Stella was born. Stephanie and I tried a one-day challenge because the challenge is that you could go for 2 people to Martha's Vineyard during the summer, which is tourist season, and that is right here. It's a stone's throw from us here in Massachusetts. That you could go over and do it for, I believe it was $50 for the day. And she had actually found it on, I don't know if it was Instagram. Might have been Instagram or YouTube on one of the reels. So we were like, I wonder if this is true. So we went and we tried it. We took the motorcycle down to the Steamship Authority in Woods Hole. We bought our boat tickets. We jumped on the boat and we followed their plan to a T. And not only did we do it for $50, we actually did it for, like, I think it was $46 or $47 by the end of the day. So it was possible to do. It was actually kind of fun. Oh, yeah, seeing it was over 10 years ago. So now, I mean, I would assume that, 10 years, given inflation, it's probably more like 2 people on $65 or $70 now, given the cost of everything. But it was, we were able to do it. It was a super enjoyable day, a bunch of fun. So she said, boy, wouldn't it be kind of neat to do a challenge to see how much money you could do Disney for at like the minimum amount. So in trying to think about this, there are some things that you can't account for because there's a variable. So for instance, right, like a ticket. So if you're talking, a one-day ticket, that's going to vary depending upon what day you go during the year. It's the same thing with if you're staying down there for accommodations. You could go all kinds of craziness. I think what we're going to do with this, though, is we are going to see how much we can do ourselves to save money and go to do Disney for a day. So what does that look like? I think that looks like us picking a park and seeing, how you can do it. We will probably pick, my assumption would be either Magic Kingdom or Epcot. And Magic Kingdom, obviously, because that is the iconic park. It's got the castle in it. And that's where a majority of people want to go if they're only going to do one park. I say Epcot also because if you have watched any stream on here at all when we're in Disney, Epcot is always our most expensive park because of all the food and all the drink that we end up buying, right? Which we do a pretty good job at picking and choosing our poison now, right? Because we've done it so much, so we know what we like. We have an idea about how much it's going to cost, and we don't typically stray too far. So I would say that it will be one of those two parks. I'm leaning towards the Magic Kingdom. So what's that going to look like? That is going to look like us putting together a plan and breaking down every little cost to see how much money you could potentially save if you took the same or very similar steps. So Ah, see that? That's why she is the producer. She's right. When we're there in August, Food and Wine doesn't start until the week after. So there will be no Food and Wine Festival this trip. It's probably the first trip in, oh gosh, it's got to be 4 or 5 years that we haven't caught Food and Wine. But that is inevitable to happen since they've been doing it in like August and July because of the way the weeks work out when they usually start in August. So we miss it this year, but I'm assuming that starting next year we'll probably catch it again. Next year, the year after. And I'll get to Food and Wine and me going back again before the end of the year. So we will probably pick the Magic Kingdom at least as the base. We may also do a little bit for each park. Like we may go like, hey, look, you can do this for X number of dollars. So what does that look like? Hey, Chad Jackson, what's happening? Thank you very much, sir. Welcome in. Glad you're here. It's going to be a lot of tips and tricks. It'd be like, hey, look, you know, you can bring your own snacks. So bring a backpack. Here's what you need. If you do it this way, you're going to save X number of dollars doing it like this. And then we'll give you a total cost of what we've done by the end of the day. Now, I will say that we will not shortchange ourselves. So we need to eat. We're going to eat. If we want a snack, we'll probably buy a snack. We are going to bring some of our own stuff, right? I mean, if you really wanted to, you probably wouldn't have to really buy much, if anything at all, if you brought a backpack that was just loaded up with drinks and food. Like, you can bring it in. Disney's not going to stop you. But I think it'd be probably a little bit more realistic if we did it where it was some sort of hybrid of, we're bringing, you know, some of our own stuff, but we're also going to spend a little bit of money to get the Disney experience, and we're going to get some of their stuff because we just really like it. I don't know if that will include souvenirs. We will at least look at the price of stuff. Hey, Octavia, what's happening? Nice to see you in here. Hope all is well. So we are probably going to do some sort of hybrid of that. We're still kind of talking about like ideas and stuff that we're going to do. We will, you know, we'll take you through and tell you how it is. And I think that day what will happen is we will do our normal stream at the Magic Kingdom, and we'll set that day up and tell you what we have and what our plan is. And then on the second stream of that day, we'll make that stream towards the end of the day so we can kind of give you a breakdown of what we did, you know, between when the camera turned off and came back on, and, you know, how much money we were at for the day and different things that we've learned. I think it might be a really good experience for some people to see, because we're not finding very many videos or tutorials about not so much how to save money, but the actual cost of, like, hey, you can do it for $200 or less for a family of 3, you know, in terms of spending money outside of tickets for the day. So, need to take you to Celebration. Ooh, I would love to go down there. I'm always up for a good brewery, that's for sure. Now, there are going to be some surprises. There are going to be, I think, some surprise guests on one of my streams. We are going to see how... We're going to see how the week plays out. But I think you're going to find you might have a couple of people pop in on streams. We're going to try to go to... up to the top of Bay Lake Tower again for a little fireworks display and some cool, refreshing drinks. We're going to be in Disney Springs. My hope is to stream the drone show the first night we're there. So we have a lot planned. We are going to do a bunch of resort stuff this trip. So we keep saying we're going to do resorts, we're going to do resorts, we're going to do resorts. And I feel like we never get there because we're always into a park and we're living the Disney thing. And this time we are really going to make an effort to go and enjoy like the Riviera Resort, enjoy their pool. Of course, there's Bar Riva. That's right down there. So we're going to try to do that. We've talked about actually hopping a couple of resorts. So hopefully, you know, hopefully we'll get a few of those things in there. I think maybe, and this is probably why you really want to make sure that not only are you've hit the subscribe button, but make sure the notifications are on. Is that, you know, if we decide to go over to the Grand Floridian, or we decide to go over to Fort Wilderness Lodge or something, you know, I may be so inclined to literally just flip the camera on for like 30 minutes and we're doing a quick resort tour, the main lobby, and maybe like, you know, one of their quick serve sit down bar restaurants around there, or the pool or something. So that's kind of the plan for August. We are flying. We are flying out of Worcester, up here in Massachusetts. So our original flight, believe it or not, about 3 weeks ago, we were going to fly out of Providence. It got delayed by like almost 3 hours. So I changed our airport that we're leaving from, because it's only about an extra 20 or so minute ride. Instead of going to Providence, Rhode Island, we'll go to Worcester, Mass. And we'll get out a little bit earlier. So instead of, you know, leaving at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, we're going to end up leaving at like 1 and getting down there a little closer to the original time we were supposed to be there, on the 18th. So hopefully, knock on wood, our flying experience will be smooth sailing. So that'll be good. If for some reason you are not around a lot, you can always, you know, rewatch all of our live streams and all the content. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream the fireworks from Epcot, because I know that there are a couple of spots in there that trip YouTube and will literally shut your stream down. So we're not doing that, more than likely. I don't think that's going to happen, just to let y'all know. So get reservations at the Summer House for the drone show. Oh, that's a great idea, because that drone show's at, what, it's like 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, right? They do it like twice a night. Yeah, maybe we will. That's a great idea. I'll put in for that when my window opens here. Oh, actually, it's open now. I could probably do it now. I'll have to look into that. So, but we will be there for sure. If you fall a little shy in August and you're not around, I am going back on a trip to go bar hopping at Disney and Universal in September. I am literally going back a month, almost to the day, after we return here in August. So we get back on the 23rd of August, and I am back in Florida on September 21st. So originally I was not going to stream any of that. 9 and 10:45. All right, thanks, Chad. That's good to know. So I was not going to stream any of that trip, because all we do is we drink and we eat, and that's it. And we have a bunch of laughs, and it is such a great time. We did it just about 10 years ago. So we're going to do it again, because it's been a hot second, and it's going to be a bunch of fun. Wasn't going to stream it because I'm like, it can get really wild, like really not what my channel would normally be about. And one of the guys said, well, why are you not going to do that? And I said, I don't know, put it out there and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, no, you absolutely need to stream that. I'm like, really though? Like, I don't know. It could be just a hot mess express. And they were like, that's exactly why you need to stream it. Like, people are going to want to see the hot mess express pulling up to the Rose and Crown, or pulling into, Pat O'Brien's, or wherever else it is that we're going. So it happens to be Food and Wine. I've kind of put the trip together based on everybody's ideas. I've planned the itinerary. So you may, yeah, Suzanne's like, I'm up for a really good time. Let's stream that for everybody. You may see bits and pieces. So that that is who boy. It's gonna be something. So those will definitely be pop-up streams for like 4 days straight because we're there on the 20th. We're there early on the 20th. Like all this craziness starts at like 5 a.m. on the 20th. So we got the 20th, 21st, 22nd, and we come home late on the 23rd. So we end up with almost 4 full days down there. Hey, Jeff Cap, welcome in. How are you? So I would say this. I would say it's very tentative that you will get a couple of streams down there. They will 100% be not safe for work. They will not be child or family friendly. And I would go out on a limb and probably say if you are easily offended, you may not want to watch those streams because you know, when we start tossing them back, I cannot guarantee the safety and security of what will be said and what may happen. It will 100% be Disney day drinking. It will be a Disney day drinkers event, which actually, you know, I've reached out to, if you're part of the Disney Day Drinkers Club, that D3 club, I've reached out to Skip, the guy who runs the club. He's the founder of it. He runs it, and I've asked him to be on here, and he said, oh yeah, just let me know and we'll set it up. And that may actually be probably a really good, that may be a really good week for him to pop his head in and say hello. You did a lot of that this weekend, huh, Chad? Oh, Triton is in the house. What is happening? Thin Mint? Maybe a little Sam. How about a little Sam? Good beer. So, I did a lot on that thing right there. That thing, yeah. I did a lot on that on Thursday night. A lot. And they went quick, smooth, quick. Ooh, it was a long night. So that's what that will be. I will definitely, I'll make sure the tip jar's up. That way, I'm not getting bombarded with like text messages and DMs through Discord and stuff, because that will, that happens, and I'm super appreciative of it, and I love it, and I couldn't thank you enough. But in order to keep the stream up without like messing up the signal, because I'll probably use StreamYards, I'll make sure I have a link here. If you want to hit the tip jar, so that will be there, and we'll do short. We're gonna do a lot of short increments because, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I can tell you this. I can tell you that there will be 2. So there are 5 of us that week or that weekend. At least 5. And any of you out there are welcome to show up. So, if you're around and you want to come hang with us and you have, park passes or whatever, by all means, our theory is the more the merrier. When we show up, especially when all 5 of us are together, when we show up, we literally take over. We take over wherever we're at. We take over the bar. We take over the restaurant. So, that is definitely a given for sure. So, yeah. So we're definitely going to take over. So let me know if you're around and you want to join us in September. it ought to be a good time, especially when the camera goes off. You're gonna see. How does that go? From Back to the Future, when you hit 88 miles an hour, Doc Brown says you're gonna see some serious bleep, right? Yeah, that's it. You're gonna see some serious stuff. So if you're around, yep, Chad, Triton, Pierce, whoever else is down in Florida. If you are, or if you're gonna be down there, hit me up. Hit me up on Discord, you know, and or hit me up on my Facebook or Instagram, and we will make sure that you get in with the group and you travel with us a little bit. We have a dinner reservation in Germany, which is always a good time. You know, 1 liter steins of beer. We could park it there for hours. We have plans to go to. We're gonna hit the tequila bar. We're gonna park it at my home away from home, the Rose and Crown, for a little while. Triton, you can show up. Please don't bring any waffles. I mean, I guess, as long as you're not going to be pieing us all in the face, you can have all the waffles you want. Yeah, we've all known each other. There are some people in here I have known for a very long time, thanks to YouTube. I never thought I would thank a social media platform, but through social media, I've stayed connected with literally thousands of people I know, that I like know over the course of my life. And through like the YouTube platform, I've just connected with so many more people, thousands of people on here. It's incredible. So Chad, you live 4 minutes from that welcome sign, huh? Boy, that must be terrible. Terrible. So, with that being said, we're getting near the hour mark here, and it is going to start raining here almost any minute. So, let's see here. Uh-oh. Oops, there we go. So that's what we be doing. Disneyland. Yes. So come on down. Yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna have a really good time. I am looking forward to August. So August will be great. I could 100% use a break. I could use a break. So, oh yes, the clouds see those clouds coming up over here? That is a nasty little storm that is like backing in this way, huh? Whew. Yeah. So, yeah, but hopefully in August or September, if you're down there, come find me. If you see the stream is up, even in August, I know I'm there with Stephanie and the influencer. You know, we're there with the family, but always please stop and find us. You know, show them the garden. What do you mean, show them the garden? I don't know. Do they want to see the garden? That's the garden down there. Right. Where are we? Right here. Right there. Oh, yeah. That's what it looks like now. It's actually all grown in. We're actually picking vegetables off of it. Listen to I showed the garden. Never bite the hand that feeds you. Literally feeds me. Yep. That's what the garden looks like. It's all grown in. We've got cucumbers and peppers and tomatoes. I thought there was eggplant in there, but I'm not really sure. But there's a couple of different varieties of vegetables in there. That's good. All right, and I can see the rain is coming. So I'm going to head inside. With that said, thank you all for joining me here. That's our update. Brockton Brewing Company, good beer, but 2 out of 10 overall experience, not recommended. You can see the ticker, bottom of the screen, August 18th to the 23rd. Make sure you are subscribed. Turn the notifications on. 2 streams a day, probably 1 stream on the 18th and 1 stream on the 23rd. But all the days in between will be 2 streams. We are going to do our own internal challenge, which was created by Mrs. Squatch, which is to see how cost efficient, we'll call it, we can be to go to Disney for a day with a family of 3, 2 adults and a child. And then, of course, we will always bring you a lot of streaming content from around the parks. We're going to try out the multi-pass, see how many rides we can get on. We're going to have a couple of, different drinks and stuff. We're going to eat at Topolino. So we got a lot of stuff coming. We're going to do a couple of resort streams, I think, during the week. So it's going to be awesome. And then, of course, in September, and look at Suzanne's already looking forward to it. Suzanne has already said, I am beyond August, Mr. Fat Man. I am beyond August. Get me to September, because that's when the really good stream is going to kick off. I am back in September. A month after we return in August, I go back with all my guys, and we're going to do a bunch of bar hopping between Disney Springs, Epcot, Universal Studios. I think we're going to do Universal. We're going to go to that Finnegan's Wake inside of there in City Walk. And then probably an airport stream and maybe a little Disney Springs on the back end of that going home. So that's what's coming up. Like, subscribe, turn the notifications on. We will see you all back here very soon from the Tiki Bar. Thank you all for hanging out with me, finishing off the weekend, helping me finish celebrating my birthday. Turned 47 revolutions around the sun. Glad I'm here with all of you, and glad you are all here with me. And we will see you all later. Live from the Tiki Bar. There's a little brand new Sam's Pool Party. Great beer. 5.5% by volume. Citrusy, not too bitey with the hops. It's very good. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you all soon.